P word.
Whoa.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back into Talk Off. It is Friday, April 7th. You like it? You like how quick I got straight to the punchline right there.
That was nice. That was
That
good.
was nice.
Sorry.
I know.
Wasn't ready for it.
Zach, how was your day today? It was I took the day off of work to go to the Mets home opener, and the Mets canceled the home opener because of rain. And instead of rain, we got probably the best weather we've had all year so far, I would say.
Yeah, I don't really know what they were thinking.
Well, the forecast was pretty shit.
Yeah, but I feel like you gotta wait. You gotta wait. It's not like what's the point?
But I know why they did it was because they definitely didn't. There was a game last year where, similar to the Yankee playoff game, where they had everyone come to the field. The forecast looked like it was going to clear up. It never cleared up, and everyone just went home. No game played. They're there for like 2 hours. I'm sure he just wanted to avoid that.
Yeah, I guess, and I think it's too because it's their home opener, so like they would rather just move it the day and save themselves the trouble.
Also, the fact that the Mets are coming back from Milwaukee right now. And if there was an option to cancel the game, because let me tell you something, these guys needed a day off. We needed a day off today. I needed a little debrief from baseball today. I have not watched a second of baseball today. Mets got pounded in Milwaukee. There's no better way to say that. I think we're something like 3-20 in our last 23 games in Milwaukee. We do not play good baseball in the state of Wisconsin, but we're not going to win all the games. I think we're 3-5 right now in the season, so 2 games under 500. We have a 3-game set coming up against the Fish, so hopefully a little we straighten the course out here a little bit.
Yeah, you talk about Milwaukee, and I that is something that I had written down that I wanted to bring up this episode.
Okay.
Is Milwaukee nice?
I think Milwaukee is going to be a lot better than people thought they were. Just based
is
off
Milwaukee,
what I saw. I'll tell you,
is Milwaukee going to win the NL Central?
I don't know. That's to be determined. Definitely to be determined. But I think it's going to be a lot better of a race than people might have anticipated. One thing I'll tell you for sure that I got out of watching this series is 2 things. Actually, I'll bring up 3 points. The Mets don't have as much pitching as they really have had in the past decade plus. 2, Max Scherzer does not know how to pitch with a pitch clock. He looks rushed out there. I know he was a guy who worked quick in prior years, but the pitch clock and just having a countdown in front of him looks like it's already fucking with his momentum. I think he needs to break it down and start all over in terms of mentality of his whole pitching game. 3 is Christian Yelich or aka Pete Davidson of Major League Baseball, is as bad as I've seen him during this down stretch that he's had in Milwaukee. And I didn't think he could hit a lower low, but it looks like that low is going to be hit this year because he looks straight up awful, Zach.
Yeah, he does. And, I'll go back to your other point first before I hit on Yelich. Scherzer, it might be a problem with him with the pitch clock, but you do make a good point. He was a guy who did like to work fast. He's always wanted to be the guy that controls the momentum of the game and controls the pace of the game. And everybody goes off of his pace. And I don't see why the pitch clock would be a problem for a guy like that. He could just be getting off to a rocky start because he's off to a rocky start. But I agree with you. He hasn't looked that great. The Mets haven't looked that great. In altogether, they haven't looked that great. And Scherzer's a big part of that. Hopefully they get Verlander back. He pitches well. But going back to Christian Yelich, You couldn't be more right. He can't hit the ball even if they offered him, I don't even know, like the world. He can't hit the ball. He just doesn't even look comfortable up there. He swings at shit so out of the zone. He's still chasing balls just over his head, not over his head, but you know what I mean, just up in the zone. And he just looks so bad and so uncomfortable in the box, which is so sad from the former MVP, in 2018, the MVP. So it's just sad to see. And I mean, I hope he turns it around. It's still early in the season, but if it's going to look like this, my guess is they might either look to replace him or move him as the season progresses, because they're taking off. And if he can't perform, then I don't see why they can't put him on the bench.
He can't be an albatross for this team, just weighing him down the entire season. I mean, at some point for the Brewers, the front office is just going to have to take their medicine, swallow their pride, and cut their losses at this rate. Because while it was fun, the Yelich and Bellinger downfall is very interesting to me, because you look 2018-19, like those guys were on top of their game, both winning MVPs in back-to-back seasons, and you really thought that they were the clear-cut future of baseball. And what seems like a 2 to 3 year swing, they're almost unrecognizable, and that just goes to show you how hard this game is, when you can literally go from being on top of the game, both being MVPs, and now guys who you wouldn't be surprised if they were DFA'd tomorrow.
I think it's crazy. It really is. It shows how volatile baseball is. You really can come out and have an MVP season, and the next season you could come out and be the worst player in baseball. It's very possible. It's a very streaky game, and if you just get on a bad streak and you just keep going. Christian Yelich hasn't had it for the last couple seasons, and it's been sad to watch the downfall. I don't know what the Brewers are going to do, and the Brewers have a lot of situations that they need to handle before even thinking about Yelich. I really think their sole focus is on Corbin Burns and how do they get this guy to re-sign. Obviously, there was problems. We saw in this offseason that he was not happy with their talks, that he felt disrespected in their talks, and he wanted a contract. But if that relationship can't be mended, then we're looking at a Brewers team that's playing well right now. But if you don't have Corbin Burns for the next couple of years, you might as well, tear it down, get rid of Yelich, get rid of Burns, and that's what you got to do. Because if you don't have the very possible best pitcher in baseball on your staff anymore, this team does look a lot different.
Looks extremely different. And I know we spoke briefly about this when we did our preseason preview, which was like December at this rate, it's kind of crazy to think about that. But we were talking about how if come late July, mid-August, I guess actually I should rephrase that. Early to mid-July, if the Brewers aren't in striking distance of the NL Central, you look at this roster, like, yeah, there's some good young guys and there's some good young talent on this team, but the guys who are really carrying the weight and who you would have to rely on to not only make a postseason, but make a push in the postseason. Like, those guys, like, they're getting old and their contracts are probably running up. So it's like I said earlier, where I said, like, it's probably better to just cut your loss with Yelich. Like, do you cut your loss with Burns and just kind of break it all down at that rate? Or do you just hang on to him and hope that you can turn it around in the next 3 to 4 years, which might be a little generous to say that's their window at this rate?
Yeah, I mean, let's play GM for a second. Let's play GM for a second for the Milwaukee Brewers, right? You have Christian Yelich, who's been struggling, and there's no question that he's been struggling. And he kind of has a crappy contract. So there's not a lot of people who are going to want him. So you got to find somebody real desperate who's going to want Yelich. But if the relationship with Burns is not there and it's not met, it can't be fixed. If it can't be fixed, you get rid of Burns and Yelich, you package them in a deal, and you trade them before the deadline. And here's why. Because they have Freddie Peralta, they have Brandon Woodruff, and they have guys in their minor league system that are going to come up and carry this team. This team right now is not even being carried by those high-powered guys. Burns had 2 mediocre starts. Peralta's looked like the ace on the Brewers so far. Burns had 2 mediocre starts. Tellez has been whatever. And Yelich has been terrible. This team has been carried by their young guys. Bryce Terang, Willie Adames, Contreras, those guys. They have been carrying this team. Those are the guys that are hot on the Brewers. So I don't see why if they're not in contention for the NL Central, if they're not in contention for the NL Central, they're not in contention for the playoffs because they're not going to get the wild card. It's just not. It's not going to happen. So if they're not in contention for the NL Central, come trade deadline, I say you deal Burns and Yelich, you get minor league prospect. I would say you get for Burns and Yelich. I would say you get probably 2 top 10 guys, a top 20 guy, and maybe a major league guy, honestly, because we're talking about possibly the best pitcher in baseball.
Yeah, no, you can make that argument. You want to hear something that's going to make you sick to your stomach?
I would love to.
Yelich signed a 7-year, $188.5 million contract right around COVID. And as of today, he's still owed, give or take, $150 million worth of that contract.
So that's the problem. That's the problem. But I think the right, like Steve Cohen and AJ Preller over at the Padres, these guys, when they get to the nitty gritty and they need a pitcher come deadline time, they will shell the $150 for $150 million for Christian Yelich just to have him as a roster spot, just so they can get Burns.
Plus, it could be a situation where Yelich needs like a change of scenery or whatnot.
I think it's going to be like a Mookie Betts situation. The Red Sox packaged Mookie Betts with David Price to the Dodgers because David Price was shitty and they wanted that contract off their books. This would free up so much money for the Brewers too and get them good prospect capital that they can honestly turn over next year if they want to. I think that would be the move for the Brewers if they're not in it.
If we're being realistic here, I would have to say if I was in the Brewers front office and I was listening to phone calls about Yelich, if I was even considering that fact, and unfortunately with the contract like this, that is the only option. You can't DFA the guy because no one's gonna claim him off waivers, and you're gonna end up having to eat the remainder of this contract. If I'm the Brewers and I want to trade this guy, which is at this rate, it's a legitimate possibility he is on the trade block at some point in the next year or two, I'm going into any trade conversation with immediately off the bat saying, as an organization, Milwaukee is knowingly going to have to eat, if not more than half of that contract.
Most likely.
There's no way there's going to be any takers for a contract that has 6 more seasons on it.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with Yelich, and that contract is so bad, like looking back on it. Obviously,
I mean, it looked like when it happened, it looked like a steal. I mean, he signed it right a year after his MVP season.
I know, and like hindsight's 20/20, but you look back on it, that's a terrible contract now. He hasn't lived up to that in the slightest. He's playing like an $8-10 million player, maybe, if that.
Oh, I would say if that.
So I'm saying, like, he's not playing to his potential. He's not playing for that contract that he signed. Not even close.
No, totally agree. And like you said, it could very well be a situation where the Dodgers got with Mookie and the Red Sox. So package in a pitcher, or in this instance, a piece that has a massive contract that they're obviously not playing to, but a team that can afford it. So it makes sense in that respect.
So we had a couple call-ups this week too while we were gone.
We had a call up today.
The Mets today calling up Francisco Alvarez because they got Narvaez on the IL for a couple weeks. Looked like I think I saw 8 to 9 weeks.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be around 10 weeks. So
Yeah, so they're calling up Alvarez, and you love to see it. You like to see the young guys coming up. He came up last year, struggled a little bit when he came up, but that's an exciting player. Maybe give the Mets a little excitement in the clubhouse, something a little more to play for. Give them a little oomph.
Yeah, no. The one thing about Alvarez was he wasn't really hitting well in spring, but in 2021 and 22, well, I guess more 22 than anything, defense was really a real question about him. And honestly, at this rate, he's gonna have to catch because he's one of two catchers on the roster behind Nito right now. But I'd have to imagine the majority of his time is going to be spent in a DH role because I don't think the Mets really feel that he's fully developed his defensive tools yet. I mean, I could be wrong in saying that, but just from kind of like a comfort level, that's kind of what I gauged off of the situation.
Yeah, the defense has been a problem, and it was definitely a problem last year, and it showed that it was a problem, and I think that's why the Mets have kept him down. If the defense wasn't a problem, he was probably up mid season last year, or even before that. So
yeah, he came up right around like the August time frame, September.
Yeah. So I think we would have seen him a lot earlier if the defense was there. So clearly it's not, and the Mets aren't very confident in it. But that bat is so solid that this is a guy that you need up in your lineup. It's someone who can bring a little pop to the lineup, and if he comes up and he starts hitting very well, there's no reason why the Mets can't keep him up here. So I think it's a real test for Alvarez. It's going to be a test for the Mets. The defense is definitely going to be a problem, but I think the bat in the lineup is going to be just such a plus for the Mets that hopefully the defense won't matter.
Yeah, no, I agree. And the Mets need offense right now. I mean, we have half the team who's not even hitting their weight at this rate. So I think it would be. I don't think any harm can come from this move. I know a lot of people are calling for Beatty to come up now because Easy Out Escobar has been shitting the bed. But I don't know. It's something that we got to hold off on because apparently the Mets don't feel it would be advantageous for us to bring him up at this rate and not let him get a lot of defensive reps in, which makes sense. I mean, he wasn't the most defensively sound player when he came up last year for us for that short period of time, so it makes sense. We'll regroup once we cross the bridge of total disaster from Escobar, but we're not on DEFCON 5 or DEFCON 1. I don't remember which way that goes, but
DEFCON 5?
Is that the worst, or is DEFCON 1 the worst?
I think DEFCON 5 is the worst.
Yeah. Oh, wait, no. No, DEFCON 1 is the worst.
What?
DEFCON 2, DEFCON 5 is lowest state, and then DEFCON 2 is next step to nuclear war.
Oh, okay. That makes perfect sense.
So yeah.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens with Alvarez. I think the Mets could use the bat, and hopefully he hits.
Did you see the patch that the Mets unveiled today?
I heard you talk about it, but I didn't see it.
It's awful. It's almost as big as the new bases. Look at it.
Oh, that is bad. When the Red Sox unveiled theirs, like I think it was last year, at the beginning of last year.
Did they just blow it up just to look, or do they because sometimes they'll like when teams unveil something, they'll just blow it up on the sleeve just so people get like a good look at it.
Yeah, it might have been blown up the first time I saw it. It was just like the first time I saw it, I was like, I'm gonna kill myself. Like this is the worst thing ever. I like burn all the jerseys. But now, like I don't even notice it. Yeah, it's Mass Mutual.
I don't know. I just think it's a little gimmicky. Like I was hoping Cohen wouldn't do it, but I guess like if he's spending all this money, he's got to get something back in return. So
we've seen a bunch of teams start to do it now. I think it's going to become the norm.
Yeah, good guy Cohen though. He's giving in this deal, I guess. the Mets and New York Presbyterian Hospital are doing like a bunch of like wellness checks around the city and like cancer screening. So that's pretty cool. Also, every newborn born in a New York Presbyterian Hospital gets a Mets onesie. Good marketing, honestly. That's a fucking good marketing strategy.
Dude, I wish I was having a baby.
Well,
For onesie.
Imagine you were a Yankee fan. Oh, that's dude. We will definitely see a video somewhere down the line of a Yankee fan like burning that onesie.
Definitely, 100%, 100%.
Did you see that Major League Baseball announced that it's ready to advertise or sell advertisements for the pitch clock?
I did.
Interesting. So it's going to become like State Farm pitch clock.
I mean, I'm not surprised. They got to make money. It's a
they
business.
Like to sell ads on everything, right?
They will sell ads for anything. Everyone in baseball, owners, and anyone who works for the MLB, the only thing they're worried about is making money and making more money on top of the money that they already made. They just want money.
Agreed. So since our last show on Tuesday, let's go over kind of some of the headlines or things that I noticed in a lot of the games over the last few days. Colorado Rockies for the 11th time in Coors Field history, 1-0 game today.
I know. It's so exciting.
You don't see a lot of those.
No, you don't. It doesn't happen very often, but they did it. The Rockies are so bad. Like, actually, they're so bad.
They are really bad.
They have the worst pitching staff I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, I thought the A's pitching staff was bad, but their best pitcher is German Marquez. He had a 5 ERA last year.
Yeah, he's pretty shit. Also, did you see my shirt today?
Yeah, I see it. The coolie with the clown nose.
Clown. Let's see here. Cade McClure. Did you hear about this? This minor leaguer for the Giants?
Yes.
He gave up a nuke to Fernando Tatis Jr., who then called him a cheater who hits home runs on a rehab assignment during his steroid suspension.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta respect it. You have to. You have to respect it. Giving up a nuke to Tatis and then after the game taking it to Twitter and just trying to roast him because you gave up a home run, I love it. I love the energy.
It is, it's honestly, like, you hate to see someone back down like that and look like they're, like, get backed into a corner and just kind of just throw strays out there at somebody. But like you said, you got to respect it.
This guy's hilarious. You got to respect the grind.
Back against the wall, and he's just throwing ammo out everywhere.
He was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna make fun of this guy.
Fuck it. Because if the ship sinks, you're coming down with me.
Yeah, well, the funny part is he made fun of him for playing in the same league that he plays in. I guess he was making fun of him more for the steroids, but you know what I mean? He was like, you're on a fucking AAA rehab assignment. Like, you play AAA too, buddy. And he makes a lot more money than you.
Yeah, literally. Seriously. One quick note. I did see that Alvarez is expected to catch regularly up at the big league level. So, regularly. Fuck.
It's going to be exciting.
I'm trying to get every syllable out of that word.
It's a tough word.
Yeah. No, that's not a syllable, right? What is that called?
A letter?
No, when you like, remember in elementary school when you would sound a word out and you would clap in between?
That's a syllable.
Word? That's a syllable?
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to double check.
Wait. Is it? Yeah, it is. Yeah.
What's a consonant?
A consonant?
Just remember that.
What?
Word. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what these things were.
You just throwing out words? What the hell is a consonant? Jake, you unmuted. What were you going to say?
Wait, did you just say a syllable was when a word described a sound?
No. We said the syllable is the one when you were a kid and you would clap. Like,
oh, okay.
Syllable.
Like, what is clap?
No, a consonant are letters that represent certain speech sounds, specifically sounds that involve blocking the air before it leaves the mouth, such as tongues. What are we talking about here? Most letters of English alphabet are consonants, except for A, E, I, O, U, the vowels.
It's everything.
Oh, yeah, everything but a vowel. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, I feel like people like can't really trash us for this because who the fuck ever, like, in your daily lives, you're not thinking about consonant and syllables.
I'm always thinking about consonants.
Oh yeah,
Wordle taught me, I think, what a consonant was.
What a good game! I actually learned a lot of words from that game.
I'm starting to get back into Wordle again. Actually,
it's good for the brain.
Well, it's just like in like the morning when I wake up, I'm trying to like not use my phone as much. So I feel like I'm not using my phone when I'm playing Wordle because I'm not scrolling social media when I wake up. But I'm still using my phone.
Yeah, I guess it's like a step in the right direction.
Right. It's like quitting smoking and then just like going to like nicotine pouches. So like not going the full way off the bus yet, but got 1 foot out the door.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know what. I just broke something off of my stand right here.
Dude, I feel like you break something every time.
I literally just broke something. That's why I was like looking around the corner. I was like, I think I just broke something.
You okay?
No, honestly, no.
Oh, okay.
No.
Me neither. We got the Red Sox got swept by the Pirates. So
yeah, no, that's fun. It's always fun.
So yeah, I didn't really want to talk about it though. So I'm not going to bring it up.
Pirates.
The only thing I'm going to say is Adam Duvall is amazing. That's it. That's all we're going to say.
Adam Duvall is very
another
good.
home run today. Game-winning home run today. Beast.
Duvall.
Other thing I wanted to bring up. Grayson Rodriguez got called up from the Orioles after I had my rant about 2 weeks ago about them not having him on the opening day roster. They bring him up after a week. Not surprising.
Yeah, no, we literally ranted about this a week ago. Now he's up.
And he had his first start yesterday against Jacob deGrom and the Rangers. He went 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 5 strikeouts.
Yeah, how did deGrom do?
He looked pretty good. Let's find out. How did deGrom do?
How did DeFraud do? How did Jacob deGroin do?
deGrom. Okay. I'm sorry. This is I think it was. Sorry. I'm looking at the wrong day. This is really bad podcasting. Still looking at the wrong day. I'm really blowing it.
Do I need to find this for you?
No. I'm good. I got it right here. deGrom went 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned, 2 runs, 1 earned, 2 walks, 11 Ks.
Can you repeat that again? Sorry, I was reading something on my phone.
6 innings, 1 earned, 2 walks, 11 Ks. 2 hits.
It's deGrom.
Yep.
Ugh.
It's a pretty deGrom start.
I hate deGrom.
But we're not talking about deGrom. I wanted to talk about Grayson Rodriguez.
Okay.
I'm very happy that I just want to say I'm very happy that the Orioles finally made this move. It was a move that needed to happen. Their pitching was terrible. The opening series against the Red Sox, it continues to be terrible. And thank God that they brought him up. He pitched well his first outing. They lost, but he pitched well, only 2 runs, 5 Ks. We'll take that. For his first outing, we'll absolutely take that. This is the number 12th prospect in baseball. He's going to be special this year for the Orioles.
Agreed. I think he has a very good shot at providing some pitching depth for the Orioles this year. We'll see. He obviously has the tools to do it, so we'll have to see how his first year in the majors pans out. I'm not going to say rookie of the year because we already like someone else on the Orioles for that spot, but you never know.
Did you see that the Tigers won 2 out of 3 against Houston?
Did they?
Yeah, they did.
I did not see that. I know you guys are playing the Tigers today.
Yeah, I got the dub because of Adam Duvall. But I stand by what I said last podcast. Houston continues to not look very good.
No,
And
they don't. But it's
I know
early.
it's only been 6-7 games, but when do we get worried? Like I'm actually asking, like, when do you think you can worry about the Astros?
When do I think we can start worrying about the Astros?
Like, let's say they're 500 when Jose Altuve comes back. They're at five. They're perfectly 500. You think you should worry about like the Mariners trying to steal it? So that would be probably June.
I mean, you definitely have to consider it. They probably will need pitching at some point down the line if the Astros keep going the way they're going.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe
I think
the
they're
loss
going
of Verlander was a lot bigger than a lot of people thought right off the rip.
I mean, we've talked about it, how crazy it is that a team could lose could lose Verlander, but if there was a team that could, it was Houston because their pitching was so solid, and it just hasn't been that, and they haven't been playing good. They haven't been stringing together the hits, the great starts. The bullpen's been okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what's really going on in Houston, but I think if they're at 500 come June when Altuve comes back, I'm still a little worried because Seattle is going to be right there. Seattle is going to be right there, sniffing at Houston's ass the entire season, and a little slump at the beginning of the season could be exactly what Seattle needs to start out in the front of this division come, the beginning of May. If Seattle's in the front, that's exactly what they need to try to steal this division away from the World Series champs.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see what happens down the stretch to see if Seattle is able to make a push or if the Astros are able to hold off anyone coming for that AL West crown. But I don't know, Zach. I'm not really changing too much of my opinion on the West right now. I still think it's the Astros division until we hit. I'm gonna give the Astros until June 1, and because as of right now, the Astros are currently in third place behind the Rangers and the Angels. The Rangers and the Angels are at the top of the division right now. So both Seattle and Houston off to a slow start. So if we see Houston as like a second spot in the standings come June, I think it's time they might have to make a trade, which you wouldn't think Houston would have to do because they've had such a solid roster the past few years.
Yeah, I know, but I think it is something that if they have to do it, they will because they're not afraid to make the trade to go win another World Series. They don't care.
No, absolutely
and
not.
They have a lot of capital too.
A lot of things they can move around to make it work. So, Houston could look very different in a month or two. So, we will remain keeping tabs on what Houston's next move is, if any. If the team gets hot, like they're not going to make a move or a substantial move that we think they could possibly make.
True. Did you see today that Corbin Carroll got dropped off at the game by his parents?
I did see that today. That's pretty cool.
I think it's funny.
I think it's funny. It's like getting dropped off at a Little League game.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Let's see here. The Royals hosting a retirement ceremony for Lorenzo Cain on the May 6th. That's interesting to me because it feels like Lorenzo Cain had like a lot of stops in his career. Guess you could say he was like a Royal for life, but it's like
he won a World Series there.
Right, but he did play the longest. He played 6 years there, but he also played 6 years. Sorry, he played 7 years in Kansas City. He played 6 in Milwaukee. I guess he started his career in. He started his career in Milwaukee, but he was pretty much a Royal for the majority of his career. He's only 36 years old.
He was a Royal though. When I think of Lorenzo Cain, I think of him in a Royals jersey.
Yeah, that's fair. And he was a good player for when, he had things rolling for him. It was just, I don't really know why he stopped playing.
He just started to suck. It happens to way too many people. There's so many people that you forget about in the MLB because they're just good for like 2 years and then they just suck out of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah, he probably.
It's crazy.
He probably wanted to hang him up before he started to really shit the bed.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, but another guy who I think should have hung Miggy should have hung him up after last year. Watching watching the Red Sox play the Tigers today, he's so old and so fat. He just needs I love Miguel Cabrera, trust me, I love him. But it's not like he's trying to hit any accolade. Like he already's got 500 homers, he's got the 3,000 hits. He's not trying to hit anything. He's just playing because he wants to play another year. But he looks old out there.
Yeah, he does look old out there. I think a lot of guys try to hang on to their pride for a while and try to play as long as they possibly can. Some better than others. Guys like Bartolo Colon he made an all-star team in 2016 in one of his last years of his career. So, and at like 42 years of age, which is crazy. And he's still pitching professionally in, I forget which country he's pitching in, but yeah, it's not going to come off the top of my head. But I agree. A lot of players have to swallow their pride sometimes. And it looks like Lorenzo Cain did. So it looked like he kind of went out on somewhat good standing.
Yeah, at least that's good.
He didn't Jason Bay himself.
Don't make fun of Jason Bay.
Good Red Sox, awful Met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Good Red Sox.
Who do we have this week for the Sunday Night Baseball game? I know Zach is technically up 1-0 on Jake and I right now.
Picked one. I don't think there was one for this week that we had already picked.
No,
but we said we were going to... We said, oh, there is one?
I think so.
Padres,
hold on.
Braves, April 9th. Yeah, we have it here. You both have the Braves and I have the Padres.
Yikes.
Oh, Jake.
Yeah.
So after this week, someone's going 0-2.
Yep, either me or Dawes.
Pretty much.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Jake, if the Braves win, that's no good.
Fuck did I pick the Padres? What was I thinking?
If the Padres, if the Padres win, Dawes 0-2, but at least me and you are both 1-1. If the Braves win, I'm 2-0. You're 0-2. Dawes is 1-1.
Yeah, that's true. Fuck.
But I guess you don't have to win. You just can't lose.
True. But the week after that, we all picked the Astros, so can't even make up ground.
That's true.
I wonder how much a ticket was to get into today's game in Coors Field. Rockies Nationals.
$7.
Fucking toilet bowl, man. Holy
$7.
That's a bad game.
I sent the tickets. I think they were like $3. Cheapest ticket.
You should have went.
It's incredible that actually you can go to baseball games for that cheap. I hate that my team isn't like that. Cheapest you can get is like $25.
Literally. I'm going to the home opener tomorrow for the Mets, and it's my ticket was like $100. Fucking ridiculous, man.
It's annoying how expensive they get, but you kind of have to take advantage of the beginning of the season because they're a little bit less expensive because there's less kids going to games and shit because of school.
Hell yeah, fuck.
So if you get a good weekday to go, you can go to a game for a little bit cheaper, less people there too, and it's a lot nicer.
Do you think I should bet on the Mets before I go to the game tomorrow? Or do you think
no, because then you'll be double depressed.
Yeah, true. I should just let it.
Or double happy.
Yeah, true.
Uh-oh. Angel and devil on the shoulders. Which one? Double happy, double sad.
I don't know. I think it's gonna be a game time decision whether I bet on the Mets tomorrow or not. It's less of me being confident in them, and it's more of just I'm already 100 in the hole before leaving my house. So it's do I really want to piss myself off even more by losing a bet?
Can I ask who are the Mets playing tomorrow? The Marlins?
Yeah, the Marlins.
They're going to be favored. I was going to say if they're underdogs, then you could take Mets plus 1.5, so they could still lose and you win.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tricky situation that I'm in.
Who's on the bump? Who's on the bump?
McGill tomorrow.
Against?
That's a good question.
Better hope it's not Luzardo.
Edward Cabrera.
He's good, but that's okay. Actually, you guys would probably hit well against Luzardo because you're
minus 160 tomorrow. Fuck it, I'm gonna take him. That's my pick.
Here we go. Double happy or double sad?
My pick for tomorrow. It's my pick. It's my pick. I'm announcing it now before we even do picks. That is my pick.
Dude, you can't announce your pick before picks. It's crazy. It's a false start. If it hits, it doesn't count.
No, it does. Shut up.
Sorry.
Jake already added it to the Excel sheet.
No, he didn't.
At it right now.
Jake. Fuck you.
I mean, you could remove it if you want.
I can't wait till Jake has to take a 5-hour train ride.
Where would a 5-hour train ride be in Colorado?
I'd probably
where would that get you?
Wyoming.
Oh, that
depends
would be
where I want to go.
ass.
Wyoming's honestly, if you take a train to Wyoming, I might fly and meet you out there. I feel like Wyoming's probably sick.
And
I
what
feel
we
like it's
should
probably
do,
sick.
what we should
I kinda
definitely
wanna go to
do
Wyoming.
during that, like if the train ride is the punishment, I want to record a pod and have the other person call in
From Wyoming.
from the train.
We should have made one of the punishments just go to Wyoming, honestly, because I really want to go now.
One of my fantasy football punishments, like a year or two ago, was the loser was gonna have to fly out on a Thursday, like take a red eye to Detroit, spend 24 hours in the Detroit airport, and then come back.
That would be brutal.
It
Did
was
someone
like-
actually have to do it?
No, it was we drew it out of a hat, and they didn't end up getting the Detroit one. But yeah, it would have been like you leave on a Thursday night red eye and you return like Saturday morning early, like 6 a.m. flight. That's
Honestly,
awful.
looking at these punishments, none of them are really that bad.
Honestly, like the worst one is beer mile. Like that just sucks.
I don't even think so. I think the worst one is TikTok account for 30 days because it's just like I would get so pissed off after doing it for like 2 days. I'd be like, holy shit. Because it's 30 days straight.
What's beer poster again?
Oh, you have to like
you have to
dress
post
like all
for-
sexy and stuff, and
Yeah, like chicks dress in like bikinis and make those beer posters for their boyfriends.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna have to make one.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Not in like but like as a woman.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I think the TikTok dance is worse.
It's it's 100% the worst one. It's 100%. It's just because it's everything else is like a couple hours. The TikTok dance is 30 days. 5-hour train ride, like I guess that's 10 hours because it's 5 hours there and back. Wait, are we doing a 2.5-hour train ride? We didn't think about that.
Well, I mean, this is a good question because if you're going from 2.5 to 5, that's the difference between Boston and DC.
Yeah. I think it's 5 there, 5 back.
Yeah, I think it has to be more than 2.5. Maybe like 3 there, 3 back at least.
All right, maybe we'll cut that down, but yeah.
5 there, 5 back would be a miserable day.
I mean, better than 30 days of TikTok.
It's so better than 30 days of TikTok.
I don't know.
Because I'll go take a 5-hour
30 days in TikTok.
I'll go take a 5-hour train ride to DC, walk around DC, get a beer, and then I'll take a midnight train home or some shit and just sleep on the train and get home at 5 a.m.
Binge your Netflix series on the train ride.
That too. Like
there's no
I'll
Wi-Fi on Amtrak.
Bro, it's called downloading Netflix movies. Get your head out of your ass.
All right, yo.
It's also
acting
called
like you just found like electricity, like you just discovered electricity. Okay.
I mean, like there's many ways around not having Wi-Fi on it. I don't have an
no,
iPod.
but like I don't know about you guys,
grade.
but I get very antsy in like long car rides or anything. I'm just like,
oh
my God,
me too.
And
me too. It would be really annoying, but I think it would be fun because I would just go somewhere and then hang out. I wouldn't just go 5 hours. I would just go somewhere.
That's honestly why I don't do more like road trips. Like it would be sick to road trip across the country. Like, I would do that in a heartbeat if I didn't have to sit my ass in a car for 20 hours. No offense, Jake, but like that seems awful.
I can do it.
I'm
Is
not
it
like
that
an
bad,
advocate
G?
for long car rides. I don't mind the drive.
I think long drives
that
aren't
one
that bad because
that
like
one time
you take stops and stuff.
the one time you didn't stop, Jake, like how bad was that?
Okay, that was bad. Yeah. Well, that was also mainly bad because no one got to like sleep. Like we tried to sleep, but it was 27 hours straight. It's not fun.
That's fucking crazy.
But I think like road trips like a 10-hour road trip is like really fun. It's just the 10 hours home
Hold on.
that
I
fucking
have a question.
sucks. When all you want to do
I
is
have a
be
question.
home and you have to drive.
You mean to tell me in the year 20 whatever, it was 21st century, Jake drove across this country in 27 hours on the best technology that we have found. You mean to tell me Lewis and Clark mapped that shit? How the fuck did that happen, dude? I call bullshit on it.
I don't.
They had drones. And they were flying them, and
We're not getting into this because this could go on for
birds
a long
aren't
time.
real. They had drones.
No, okay. Stop it.
The government is listening to us right now.
That's true.
This is true.
That's true.
Probably
100%.
true.
No,
Shout
like
out
1,000%.
Edward Snowden for
They
exposing
definitely
that.
listen to this podcast.
I think so. Well, okay. I'm not saying that they're physically listening, but there are government agencies that have a lot of access to what we're saying.
All three of
right
our
now.
FBI agents on like a Monday morning at like the coffee machine, they'd be like, I don't know why the fuck these kids are doing like a podcast now, but like it sucks that I have to just listen to it because I have to see if there's something in there.
We don't all have our personal FBI agents.
No, we do. The government doesn't want you to believe that, but that's actually your FBI agent is actually birds, and that's why birds aren't real, and they're spying on you. Like there's a bird's nest right outside. There's a tree right by my window, okay? And there's a bird's nest in there. Real fucking convenient that it's right next to my window, huh?
Joe's
FBI.
watching you change at night?
What's up?
I said Joe's watching you change at night.
Well, no, it's probably a woman.
I was going to say Joe. Like
No,
Biden.
it's probably a woman FBI agent.
Oh, maybe it's Jill?
Jill?
Joe Biden?
Dr. Jill Biden. Too.
No, she's not a doctor.
She also went to Nova. V's down. Fuck you.
I just want everybody out there to know that when Dawes walked across the stage for graduation, he put V's down because that's how much Villanova lives inside his head.
Also, fuck Ed Cooley because I have the shirt on today.
Yeah, fuck Ed Cooley. Woo!
Clown.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
All
Ed
right,
Cooley clown.
Let's get into some Masters talk because that is all I did with my life today. I took the day off work to go to the Met game.
Yeah, some of us work.
But instead, I watched the Masters.
Must have been nice.
Win-win. It was
I watched
awesome,
maybe
man.
4 holes.
It was a great day at the Masters today. Obviously, this weekend, the weather is supposed to be shit, so it'll be interesting to see how the players... I honestly am in favor, like, if the winds aren't that bad and the course is soft, like, I like a lot of these ball strikers' chances, like Brooks. Like, I think if the course is wet and it's scoreable, like, I think Brooks is going to be able to throw some darts at some pins. I think also that's where you see guys like Morikawa who could strike and climb the leaderboard in wet conditions.
Yeah, the wet conditions is going to bring out the really good iron players. You're going to see a lot of the best iron players probably put up the best scores because they're going to be able to stick it like very easily. And that's going to be really important when it's so wet out there because you don't want those long putts when it's super wet out there. It's important to stick it close and have nice, easy birdies. And like you said, when you're going to see the guys like Koepka and Morikawa and those really good iron players step up if the weather really is that bad. I'm hoping that it's not going to be that bad.
Yeah, and Brooksy,
but it looks like it's going to be.
Brooksy is like fully healthy on that knee that he had operations on. So like that's cool to see a Liv guy in the mix, which is like I'm not personally a big fan of Liv, but it's definitely going to get the golf world talking that a Liv guy is right now tied for first after day one. I think you saw a lot of good things out of a lot of players today. I think the most impressive round on the course was Rahm starting his day off with a double 4-putt, and then bounced back with a carding 9 under par after that. Finished with a 7 under 65, excuse me. So like that was a fucking impressive round by Rahm today. Victor Hovland looked great today. Cam Young, who I thought could become a contender in this, he's been playing well. He played well at the match play, and he's looked great throughout the Florida and California tours. So I was really impressed by him today. Scotty Scheffler got off to a slow start, but picked things up towards the end. Then you have guys like Adam Scott, past winners. Phil Mickelson looked solid compared to what Phil has looked in past majors since his PGA win in 2021. Yeah. But yeah, and we also saw Morikawa almost cheat today. I watched that video probably like 50 times, and I figured it out. Like, I don't think he cheated, but I think it was one of those like sleight of hand things.
I need to watch the video because I actually didn't really watch it.
So, yeah, watch the video. It's definitely like, it could definitely throw you off, but he doesn't actually move his ball. He puts his marker behind his ball, pushes the marker up, and then picks his ball up. It all happens really fast. So like in the moment you could be like, whoa, what the fuck just happened? But it looks fine after you watch it enough. It's just like on a first glance, you're like, Colin Morikawa definitely just moved his ball. But once you get a gauge of the situation, you're like, I understand what's going on here. Jordan Spieth.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm sorry, I just watched it. I see why people would think that's like super cheating. I get it.
Yeah. Spieth looked really good coming out the gate today, and then right after Amen corner, he was kind of shit the bed. 3 over a 3-hole stretch. Not great for a guy who you can really consider could be a 2-time Masters champion, but like I said, like when you card a 70 in the first round, I think you're in a really good spot because, like we said, like conditions are going to get worse. Maybe not necessarily for some good iron players, but if the wind picks up and it gets wet and it's just soft, the fairways don't get a lot of kick in them, the greens don't get a lot of kick in them, this could get ugly for a lot of players in this field. So I think 2 under par or 70, I think that's a great spot to be right now.
I think after the first day, honestly, anywhere under par, you could be happy with just like you said, with the conditions that they're going to see this weekend. Pretty much anything can happen. We can see a huge swing. I think it's very, very possible that Rahm, loses it. Koepka can very easily lose it, and we've seen Hovland blow I don't know how many leads. So it's very possible. It's still wide open after the first day, and we'll see what happens. I'm very upset with Tiger's round ending. I think he was 1 over. He ended, but
2 over. He didn't look great at any point throughout the day. When I turned on the TV this morning, which I mean, just from like thinking about what time I turned the TV on to what time I stopped watching the Masters, which was during this podcast. It's like a disgusting amount of television I watched today. But Tiger, from the minute he was on the range and in the practice area, it did not look like he looked like he was in discomfort the entire time. Like he was grimacing after hitting some chip shots, and just when he had to put stress on that knee and lower ankle, it just did not look great. So, and I don't know if you saw his shot on 18. He put his tee shot in a bunker on the left side. Or it actually didn't go in the bunker. It was like right on the edge of the bunker, and he had to have 1 foot in. The ball was way above his feet, and he kind of had to hit a hook, let around to try to hook it back onto the green. It was a nightmare, and he was limping and hobbling after the shot. So, I don't know. I think moving forward, Tiger in majors, if he makes the cut, it's a win.
Agreed.
That's my personal opinion. And like I was saying this last night, and I said this morning. Tiger Woods can still hit the fuck out of the golf ball, and everything is still Tiger-esque. It's the walking that's the issue. Once he hits 50 and he goes on to the Champions Tour and he can use a cart, he'll probably start winning tournaments on the Champions Tour like no one's business.
Probably once that main stress is off the knee and ankle, and he can stop walking, I'm sure he'll fucking be amazing.
Right. I just wonder, like, will there ever be a point in golf? Like, you know how, I mean, this is probably like, some people will probably be so pissed at this. I'm about to even bring this point up. But, like, at what point does golf get a pace of play? In the terms of how baseball was shortened because people's attention spans are too short. And, like, now there's a pitch clock, and Major League Baseball wants to bring in a bullpen cart so people in the bullpen can get ushered to the mound fast enough. Like, every second, theoretically, for these people count. So at what point is, and trust me, I do not want golf to be changed at all. But, like, when you see a guy like Tiger Woods and you know that it's advantageous for the game of golf to have him play in every tournament that he could possibly play in, why not just let him take a cart? I know in 2019 they let John Daly take a cart at the PGA up in Bethpage. So why not let Tiger take a cart? Like, if he's on the course and playing, your ratings skyrocket.
I agree with you. I think it would be a smart business decision to let it happen, but I think there's just a tradition of golf is too strong to, fold. I think it could happen other places too. At Augusta, I think that there's just no shot it's going to happen at Augusta, even though, like,
no, I don't think
obviously
it'll happen at Augusta.
He's a member and has his green jackets there and all the history there that he's had. But if it's going to happen anywhere, it won't be Augusta. So,
right. Like, and like, I don't see why this can't happen at, like, the Travelers Championship. Why can't they do it then?
Yeah, I think it's something that they should do because, just like you said, it draws so many people in when he's playing.
Not to mention the fact that, like, if we were comparing apples to apples, the John Rahm does not have any stress on his body after walking 18 holes. They do it 4 or 5 times a week. Tiger's walking 18 holes maybe once a month. I know for a fact when he plays in practices, he's not walking 18 holes. He walks in preparation of the tournament, but a month ago when he's prepping for the Masters, he's not saying, "Oh, I gotta go walk 7 miles today because I gotta be ready to climb the hills of Augusta."
I think he should be, though.
It might do more harm than good at that rate, though.
It's possible, but if you want to compete.
All right, Zach, one person you were looking forward to watching going into this weekend. Give me one person you're looking forward to watching this weekend, and then give me one person who is not in the top 5 who you think could realistically have a shot on Sunday of donning the green jacket.
Okay. Someone I'm looking forward to watching is actually Brooks because I'm looking forward. Like, I want to see if he can actually keep it up. Shooting 7 under today is phenomenal, getting himself tied for first, and he's coming off those 2 live wins. I just want to see if he's able to keep it up, especially because his iron play is so good and the conditions that we might see this week. It just plays perfectly for Brooks. I'm just really interested to see if he can keep it up.
And Brooks wants to win, not just to put the jacket on, but as a little bit of to shut everyone up about him moving to live and him not being able to play at that high level anymore. So this is a little this is a little more than a green jacket for Brooks this weekend.
Absolutely. And your other question, someone outside the top 5. I had to go back to the asshole that always fucks me over, but it's Colin Morikawa. It really is, and it's kind of for the same reason I said about Brooks. Just the iron play is so good, and if we see those really wet conditions this weekend at Augusta, he is going to really benefit from that more than a lot of other people. And shooting 3 under today, he's still very much in the hunt. And I think this is a guy on Sunday that we're seeing at the top of the leaderboards, probably with Rahm and Scheffler and hopefully Koepka.
Totally. It's a great pick. One person I'm really looking forward to watching this weekend is Jason Day. Jason Day, people forget how good Jason Day was back in his, like, I shouldn't be using the phrase heyday, but, like, we haven't really seen that great of play out of Jason Day out of recent memory. So I'm looking forward to Jason Day right now is sitting at 5 under par, Currently, let's see, day.
Tied for fourth.
So I'm looking forward to seeing how he handles the pressures of the weekend and the oncoming weather. I'm looking forward to seeing kind of how he handles all of the shit that's going to be thrown at him over the next 72 hours. And then somebody who I think could pull this out of their ass, Sanjay Im. Only played in 3 Masters prior to this tournament. 2020 tied for 8th. 2022 tied for 8th. 2020 tied for 2nd. Missed the cut in 21. A lot of people don't typically win this tournament in their 20s. This is a tournament where it takes a lot to learn the golf course, and you have to know all of its tendencies to kind of put those shots together. Im just seems like he adapts well to this golf course. Like his game plays really well on it, as opposed to a lot of other people like a Bubba Watson or somebody who it took them a little bit of time on tour before they were able to don a green jacket. I think Im's gonna. I mean, he's 2 under par right now, and he's not on a lot of people's boards right now. But I definitely think you could take a peek at him come Sunday.
I think that's a good pick.
Jake, do you have anyone that you're looking forward to watching this weekend?
I agree with Zach. Morikawa, I think, is a good person kind of outside the top 5 to look at. Otherwise, I love Brooks. I think it's a shame Willie Zalatoris got
that sucked.
He withdrew because I think he would be a great iron player. In these
you also hit a good bet today. Let's not forget that.
I did, yeah. As soon as Rom went 2 over, I bet him to be the round leader. So I hit that, which was nice.
That's awesome.
Attaboy,
Jake. Attaboy.
Yeah, that was a good.
This is also Jake's flu game, so this is dedication for Jake being here.
Yeah, sorry if I sound like shit.
You sound amazing.
You sound amazing. You never sound like shit.
All right, how about some Florida Man Friday?
Let's do some Florida Man Friday. Zach, do you want to go first?
I'll go first. So my Florida Man Friday, my title is Florida Man pulls out machete at bar after request for another karaoke song is denied. So that pretty much explains the entire story. This guy, every time we do this and I pull up an article, the picture of the guy looks even stupider. These people are so dumb. So this Florida man was at a karaoke bar, and he kept requesting songs, and they kept getting denied. I don't really understand why they were getting denied, but the people at the bar said that he clearly didn't understand how karaoke worked. And so after they kept denying his song request, he decided to whip out a machete. He didn't hurt anybody, thank God, but he just whipped out a machete, started waving it around. Eventually, they were able to talk him down, and the police showed up. He was arrested, and yet again, the Florida men cease to this. They go beyond my imagination.
They're a figment of our imaginations.
It's incredible.
My Florida man is a guy accused of driving around naked with the I'm reading this verbatim, by the way, from the article of Fox 6. Fox 6 Milwaukee picked this up, so this news made it all the way to Milwaukee. Florida man accused of driving around naked with electronic device attached to what?
What?
I
wonder what it was attached to.
A man was arrested Monday after police say he was caught driving around naked with an electronic device attached to his appendage. Most people would penis is what it's referred to.
Yes,
I think,
of course.
In the medical field, right?
Yes.
So they responded to Orange Drive. I don't know where that is. To an alarmed resident reported being propositioned by a naked man who was slowly walking the neighborhood and driving around with something attached to his wang. They called the police, and when the police arrived, he refused to comply, so they tackled him. Naked on the pavement with a thing attached to his thing.
Nice.
He was a 3-minute drive away from an elementary school. This guy is a moron.
I thought you were going to say another MO word. Molester.
Oh. I was like, what? I was playing Wordle in my head. So, yeah, he was arrested, and his mugshot, I'll show you a picture of it on screen. He looks like he got fucked up when they tackled him.
Oh, my God.
So that's my guy today.
Sounds like a good guy.
No, it doesn't, but should we get into some picks?
I love picks.
Let's do some picks.
Powered by Riverside.
All right, picks for Friday, April 7th. Zach, go first because everyone already knows my pick. Mets minus 160.
Yeah, I forgot we already did your pick. So my pick is going to be the Seattle Mariners taking on the Cleveland Guardians tomorrow in Cleveland. They are away, but they got Logan Gilbert going up against Aaron Savali. Aaron Savali is like the 5 for Cleveland, and Logan Gilbert is phenomenal. So I think the Seattle Mariners, even though they got off to a slow start, I think they'll take this one in Cleveland. I like the pitching matchup for Seattle, so I'm going to go with Seattle. Jake, do you have one?
I do have a pick this time. I bet the Orioles over last time, and I think their overs are going to hit a lot. So I'm going to bet the Orioles-Yankees over 9 runs. It's a lot of runs, but it's going to be like a 9-7 game. Orioles-Yankees over 9.
I actually like that. The Yankees haven't even announced a starter yet, so who even knows who that's going to be?
Yeah, I saw that, but who cares? Orioles could hit.
All right.
I have no clue. I'm actually trying to think who it could be. Maybe they're going to – I don't even know. Maybe Colton Brewer, and then maybe that's why they haven't done it yet.
I picked a random number today for roulette.
Okay.
23.
That's a good – for Michael Jordan.
It was for Michael Jordan.
He's a good guy. I know him personally.
Okay, I'm trying to.
It's my boy.
You know what? I have kind of a good feeling today.
Do you, Jake?
It's not letting me put it on.
I don't know. Something in my brain is off.
Maybe because you're sick.
Yeah, but it's telling me 23 is a good number.
Well, Michael Jordan was really good at basketball, so maybe he was also an avid gambler.
Okay, we are spinning.
So maybe 23 is lucky.
Oh! 25. Red 25.
How long till we stop this?
Not
statistically
enough.
do. 5 more.
We're not going to have this statistics talk again. That's for sure. Oh, God.
All right. Zach, do you want to close out? I have to pee bad.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead, buddy.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody, for listening to today's episode. We'll see you guys back on Tuesday. Have a good weekend. Watch some baseball. Watch the Masters. Have a great Easter. And we'll see you all on Tuesday for another episode of The Talk Off. See you guys.